Take 73.
Yeah. Hello, cinephiles, and welcome to Silver Screen Sips,
Hi.
a podcast where three idiots talk about movies. And today, I have one of the happiest announcements I've ever had when we get to our news segment.
Oh?
You'll see in a minute. Moving on, we are now going into This Week in Hollywood.
I love how he does it. It's so good. Okay. So, with lots of future movies announced at Disney's Expo event, D23, we've gone through and selected our top 3 favorite. Marvel has officially announced their lineup for Thunderbolts. The movie is set to wrap at... Wow, what the fuck?
Can you speak
the
today?
movie? No.
What?
The movie is set to wrap up the 5th phase of the MCU and includes Val, Winter Soldier, Yelena Belova, U.S. Agent John Walker, Ghost, and Taskmaster. As of right now, the movie is set to premiere in July of 2024.
On the
Back
subject...
to you, Lewis.
Thanks, Beth. Back to me. On the subject of D23, and this is why I'm so excited, Inside Out 2 has officially been announced as well!
Oh, that was not the one I was expecting you to be excited for.
I actually really enjoyed the first Inside Out. Bing fucking bong. Anyway.
Big bong!
Fuck your life. Anyway, Amy Poehler will be reprising her role as Joy. Even though much detail on the film is still under wraps, what we do know is that the movie will center on Riley as a teenager, which inevitably means more motion.
Back to you, Isaiah. No, wait, sorry. Say it, Lewis. Go ahead.
Back to you, Isaiah.
There you go.
Yes, back to me, even though this is my first time speaking.
Isaiah with the weather.
Thank you. Lastly, for our D23 films, Indiana Jones 5 has officially been announced at the event.
Woo.
The legend himself, Harrison Ford, stated it would be the last time he's playing the role, as he choked up multiple times during his speech to his fans. The film is set to premiere in June of 2023, and perhaps it will be a franchise season for the Silver Screen Sips for when it debuts.
I hope so.
You know, excited for that one. I liked Indiana Jones.
As do I.
Now back to Beth with sports.
Alrighty, so September 12th was the 74th Primetime Emmy Awards, and we're going to just quickly list just the top few awards that were won. We have Succession, which won the award for Outstanding Drama Series. Zendaya won as a lead actress in a drama series, obviously for her performance in Euphoria, which is a great show, by the way. Li Zhangzhe won lead actor in a drama series for his performance in Squid Game. There were many other awards given out at the ceremony that you can find simply by searching 2022 Emmy winners. Wow, I cannot fucking speak tonight.
Emmy winners.
Let me try that sentence again. There were many other awards given out that you can find simply by searching 2022 Emmy winners. Sure, that's good. Now, Lewis, live on the scene. Lewis, what's it looking like down there?
Now back to me with the car chase scene. Get ready, because our boy Steven Spielberg has a new film coming out November 23rd of this year.
Hey-o.
The Fablemans is a semi-autobiography of the famed director's formative years. The story follows a young boy named Sammy through his childhood, capturing the moments in his life that made him fall in love with cinema and the magic of movie making. Oh my God, is this Isaiah's childhood? Anyway, the film is looking like it's going to be one of Spielberg's greatest hits, and will join the rest of his collection once it premieres. I'm down to watch this.
Me too. Movie night?
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Now, on to Isaiah with more weather.
Oh, there's always more weather. The new film Barbarian smashed the box office with a $10 million opening within its first weekend. The horror film starring Bill Skarsgård and Georgina Campbell practically doubled the average box office. This is a $5 to $6 million opening. This film has far exceeded anybody's expectations, and if it isn't a sign to go see the film, I don't know what is. Back to you, Beth.
That concludes This Week in Hollywood. You can find all of our sources cited on our Discord in the Sources channel. See you guys next week in the news. Thanks. Yep. Okay.
We'll see you next week in This Week in Hollywood.
See you next week in This Week. Anyways, God, I don't know what's wrong with my brain is moving faster than my mouth is, and it's really not doing good for me.
See, I don't know how you believe that that's not a normal situation, because that's usually how I work. Is my brain moves faster than my mouth.
Yeah, but it works for you.
All I hear is engines revving.
Well, that's true.
Well, okay. So, Lewis, tell us what you got on the menu today?
On today's Big Lou's Big Brews menu,
Still got
I actually have two cocktails.
Oh, shit.
One is the Fountain of Youth.
Hey.
This one is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka, Austin, Texas. You should totally sponsor
Not
us.
sponsored by Tito's, but yes, sponsor us.
Please sponsor us, Tito's. I'm one of your biggest fans, along with Bert Kreischer. Anyway, the Fountain of Youth cocktail. Looking for a light, refreshing, and elevated way to enjoy Tito's?
No.
Look no further. Shut the fuck up. Anyway.
That was good.
I
Okay.
derailed myself. I had to start that over.
No, that was good.
I know, but I'm just going to repeat myself. The Fountain of Youth cocktail. If you're looking for a light, refreshing, and elevated way to enjoy Tito's, you must look no further. With floral hints and a spritz of flesh.
Ooh.
What?
A spritz of fresh lemon. This aromatic cooler will have you feeling fresh as a daisy. Or better yet, an elderflower. Just don't forget your mint sprig.
Flesh.
A spritz of flesh.
Mm.
Our ingredients are going to include 1.5 ounces of Tito's Handmade Vodka, 2 ounces of sparkling white wine,
Ooh.
3/4 ounces of elderflower liqueur,
Mm.
3/4 ounces of fresh lemon juice, 1 orange slice, and 1 mint sprig. To create your drink, you're going to add your Tito's Handmade Vodka, your elderflower liqueur, and lemon juice to a shaker with ice. Shake and strain into a glass over fresh ice. You're going to top this off with your sparkling white wine, and then you're going to use your orange slice and your mint sprig to garnish. It almost looks like a margarita, to be quite honest, in terms of the color. But anyway, I'm going to share in the Discord in just a moment.
Oh, it's actually on Tito'sVodka.com. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I said it was Tito's Handmade Vodka.
Thanks, Tito's.
Thank you, Tito.
My boy.
Shout out to the man, Tito.
Yeah. The man, the myth.
I on vodka drinks of something that I'm not expecting to be refreshing, I'm pleasantly surprised. I will give this actually a 4 out of 5.
4 is not bad. Isaiah, what about you?
White wine. I don't like white wine.
What do you
Oh,
like?
actually, no, never mind.
You don't like a lot of the ingredients.
Right, I don't like red wine because I don't know how a liquid could be dry. So never mind.
It's not supposed to be actually dry. It's supposed to leave your mouth feeling dry.
I know
after you
exactly.
drink
That's
it.
what I was saying. Like I first time I ever had not white wine. So the first time I had red wine, someone said, "Oh, it's a dry wine." I was like, "How the hell is it dry?" And then I tasted it, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's dry! How is this possible?"
It's so weird.
Most likely a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah, I think it was probably a Cabernet. It was so wrong. I was like, this is so disgusting. And so
It has everything to do with the distillation process, and the tannins and all that junk. But that's a whole other class we have to go through.
But what do you call it? I like vodka, and fresh lemon. I think I'd give this like a 3.5 out of 5. It seems interesting.
That's not bad.
Yeah, the orange, mint, and lemon. I don't know what an elderflower tastes like, but that sounds interesting.
It is kind of like a gin flavor usually.
Gin? Hell yeah, 3.5 out of 5.
Now on to the piece de resistance. Please, Beth, give us your rating.
All right. I think it does sound like a refreshing drink, and I like the double entendre where it's kind of like, oh, it's a refreshing drink, hence why it's named Fountain of Youth. Do you get it? Did you connect it? Because it's refreshing. So,
You're so funny.
thanks. I'd give it like a 4.5 out of 5.
Wow.
Actually, a 5 out of 5.
Wow.
This sounds like something I would really like.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna upgrade mine to a 4.5. I just didn't want to go all the way yet.
He's like, I wanted to hear your guys' reviews first.
Yeah, a little bit.
I liked it.
And Lou, you said you had a second drink for us?
Yeah.
I do. We have the Ponce De Leon cocktail.
Ah.
As a reference to Juan Ponce de Leon, the motherfucker who sailed the world round and died looking for the Fountain of Youth.
Now,
R.I.P.
is De Leon like Ponce of Leon?
I have to look up his full name because, hold on. Yes. Juan Ponce de Leon was a Spanish explorer and conquistador. I know that we like know them by their name as like Ponce de Leon, but then like you go to Wikipedia and it's like even longer for some reason. So I was trying to see. Okay, here. Let me see.
The name's Juan.
No, it's just Juan Ponce de Leon. That's interesting. I think his last name would actually translate to Lion's Lake, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a dope ass fucking name.
Yeah.
You know what my name means?
What does your name mean?
It means House of Figs. It's the fucking dumbest
That's dope.
name. All I think of are like Fig Newtons.
Hell yeah, brother.
I have a House of Fig Newtons. Okay, so what's in this drink?
The Ponce De Leon cocktail, which was found at intoxicologist.net.
That looks fancy.
I would like to know who the intoxicologist actually is because they have an Instagram, a Facebook, a Twitter.
They should come on the show.
They should teach me things about.
Reach out to him, Big Lou, from Big Lou's Big Brews.
Oh, actually, the intoxicologist is Sherry Laughlin. I just
Hey, a woman. Sorry, I need more women on the show.
Oh my God.
I understand. Sherry Laughlin, we're definitely inviting you to join us. Ponce de Leon could definitely be described as vintage, classic, or totally retro, but the cocktail is far from it. The man sailed rough seas with Christopher Columbus in search of a new world. The cocktail brings sipping satisfaction in the dawning of a new age. The goal is a balance of flavor. Ponce de Leon delivers. Though there are a few variations on this cocktail, this one tempts the palate with its multi-layering of light and dark spirits. So for this version of the Ponce de Leon, we're going to have 1 ounce of cognac, half an ounce of rum, half an ounce of premium orange liqueur. That's most likely triple sec, or that's the other one that I always fucking use at the bar. I'm going to come back to that in a second. Half an ounce of grapefruit juice and 1 ounce of Brut Champagne. You're going to combine your cognac, rum, liqueur, and juice in a cocktail shaker with ice. Shake it to blend it and chill it. You will strain this into a champagne saucer or cocktail glass. Top it off with a little bit of your Brut Champagne. Stir gently and appreciate the lovely, round, lush sweetness without being overly sugary. A faint hint of grapefruit bitter in the finality, bringing the flavors together in perfect harmony. That is before the champagne top. Champagne adds more sweetness and thins the cocktail out a little bit more. I find this interesting.
Yeah, to say the least.
I'm going to go with a safe rating of 3.5 out of 5 because I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about a cognac because I've never had one.
I have some here. So when you come up this weekend, you can try some.
What is cognac?
I have no idea.
Let's find out.
But we have some. We can make Ponce de Leon.
Cognac is a variety of brandy named after the commune of Cognac, France. It is produced in the surrounding wine-growing region in the departments of Charente and Charente-Maritime. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but cognac production falls under French appellation d'origine. No, I'm not going to try.
Okay.
I know what I'm reading. I just don't know how to pronounce that.
I think. What would I rate it? Thanks for asking.
I was getting to you, Beth. Anyway, now we're going to jump over to Beth's rating of our Ponce de Leon cocktail.
I think I'm also going to give it like a 3 point. You gave it a 3.5, right?
I did.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3.5 too, because I just feel like it sounds good, but it doesn't like I would prefer the Fountain of Youth drink first over this. But it does sound like a nice sipping drink, and I kind of want to try it this weekend because I have 2 out of 3 ingredients.
Okay, we'll see what we can do.
Isaiah, what about you?
I want to give it a 4 out of 5 because I like rum.
He does.
I like orange. I've never had champagne, but I think I like it because it's bubbly. So
champagne is very good.
So I think it's a 4 out of 5. I think I probably really, really enjoy this.
All right. Good all around. That
concludes today's segment of Big Lou's Brews. Now we'll be moving on to the next best segment. That's question of the day.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi. All right, boys, gentlemen, as you were. I have a 2-parter here, kind of. They're kind of two questions combined into one here. We're gonna do a little bit of. We're gonna use our creative thinking here. Okay.
We have that.
For the most part, I think depends how drunk we are, but
that's true.
We're going to come up with our pirate name and where would we sail to, like what location. And this can be fictional or non-fictional. It depends. What do you guys want to do? Because I'm thinking non-fictional would be more interesting.
Sure.
And then I'm going to throw this one in here just for fun. What would you name your ship while we're at it?
Oh my God.
Big Lou. He's got something bad. I know it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Do you want to go first? Or do you want to save yours for last?
No, I want to go first. I want to get this out of my head.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna give you. I'm gonna give you my fictional version, and I'm gonna give you my fictional version now. I'm gonna go again and give you a non-fictional afterwards. I'm just gonna laugh really hard at this.
Oh, like a location?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. My pirate name will be Edward Longbottom.
Oh my god.
Why?
Don't worry about it. I'm going to sail to the Grand Line for all my One Piece fans out there. Hey. And the name of my ship would be Midnight Climax.
Why? Oh my God. Why?
Do you actually want to know, or
I don't know. Do I?
No, actually,
I want to know.
So the name is based in an actual thing that happened. It is actually the name of a CIA operation that was declassified. They were randomly dosing people with LSD in public places and just kind of observing what happened.
Right. Is that what that was called?
It was you're thinking of the other one where they were trying to do mind control, and that's called MK Ultra.
No, I was talking because there was like a experiment in the 60s where they're just dosing everybody for just to be like, I wonder what happened.
Yeah. It was called Operation Midnight Climax.
Oh my God.
When I heard, so I actually found out about said story on a podcast I listened to.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard that story, they were all laughing really hard, but they were also like, "That's fucking based." And if given the opportunity to come up with a name for an operation like that, I probably would have also been like, "Yo, this is the best name that you could have picked."
Oh my God.
If anyone wants to go next, while I think of my actual non-fictional options here.
Isaiah, you want to go?
Oh my God, there's a movie?
What?
There's a movie?
It's a porno.
Operation Midnight.
Oh.
Anyway, so I don't know what my pirate name would be. I'm sure it would just be something that would pop up along the lines of as I existed. But is this in context of like if pirates are still around today, or as in like I'm in the 1750s with Jack Sparrow and all that?
I didn't think that far. I guess like now.
Now? Oh, it'd probably be Captain Spiegel.
Why?
I mean, because Spike Spiegel, bro, he's the coolest. He's the coolest cowboy all around. He's the captain. He's the captain of the bebop.
Ah, I see. Okay, and then where would you go?
I don't know. Just hanging out in the. Actually, what do you call it? If there was a specific island, right, in the middle of like the Caribbean, and I'm going off of like I know like none of the stuff in Uncharted was real, like Uncharted 4, but if there was a similar legend of a real life, because it's based off real life stuff, I would say that whatever he was going for in oh my God, what the hell is the name of the New Devon? I would make a New Devon basically. It would be but except all the pirates wouldn't kill each other. So okay. What I would do is I would found New Devon in somewhere in the Caribbean, and it would basically be the pirate utopia.
Okay. Also, I put your guys' names into pirate name generators. Isaiah, you are now.
Oh no!
You got a few options. Which one do you want? There's the short pirate.
Why? I'm taller than you.
Well,
every single who you compared me to like being Plankton and
Mike Wazowski. I think was one of them.
Why? They're all like
they're all like short little geeks. I don't know. I just see you as a short guy for some reason.
Even though she has to look up at me every time.
Short king.
Okay, how about this? How about Isaiah Bones? Wait.
Yo.
I heard it after I said it.
This guy fucks.
All right, Liz, let's try you because Isaiah's not. That did not work at all.
Oh my God.
Luis Fernandez. What's your favorite colors?
Blue.
Okay. Name another favorite color.
Purple.
One more.
Orange.
Okay. Let's see.
This is gonna be terrible.
Lewis's pirate name is.
Oh no.
We got Lewis Bald Parrot.
Fair.
Okay.
We got let me see. Captain Beard.
Fair.
Yeah, fair.
That's a good one. Lewis Blackbeard. You have a literal Blackbeard.
Did he say he would be Redbeard last episode?
Oh yes. Lewis Red. That's it. You're Redbeard. That's your name.
Edward Redbeard.
Mm-hmm.
The non-fictional version.
Oh, yes.
My non-fictional answer would have been, well, I'm going to be Edward Redbeard now. I would have sailed.
I would have sold the ocean.
I would have sold the ocean.
That's how good of a pirate I was. I stole the ocean.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I would have sailed to Tortuga, which is actually
Having
a good old time
in modern day. It is actually one of the islands that makes up Haiti.
Ah.
I'm talking like old school Tortuga sailing. Like back in the day, or like the stuff they like want to reminisce on in like Assassin's Creed and that sort of thing.
Wait, Isaiah, say Tortuga real quick.
Tortuga.
I love how he says it.
Tortuga.
Tortuga.
Hey guys,
I've noticed it in the last few episodes. It's so funny.
And then the other thing is that actually I think Barbosa is supposed to be Barbarossa, which would have made him Redbeard. But that's a whole other random story. And then the actual Operation Barbarossa, I believe, was the Nazi invasion of Russia, if I'm not mistaken. But
what about your ship name?
My ship name?
Not Operation Midnight Climax?
No.
I think Climax is a good name. If you don't take it, I'm thanking it.
I mean, that's my fictional ship. This is my non-fictional ship.
Okay.
This is the SS Big Lou.
Big Lou. Honestly, Big Lou is a good name for a ship.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, oh my God, what is it? Some type of cocktail thing. There's got to be like what's it called when a sea shanty, right? There's got to be like a sea shanty name about drinking that is definitely like entirely Big Lou energy.
Oh, every sea shanty is Big Lou energy. We should make a sea shanty.
Yes.
About
there
Big
was
Lou.
once a man named Big Lou.
No, you gotta be like, there once was a man named Big Lou. He sailed across the blue or something.
He sailed the ocean blue.
Yes.
He went on a hunt for rum.
I'm gonna come up with one.
Did Beth answer the question or no?
No, we want to hear.
Oh, no, I didn't. Oh shit. Good question. I think my pirate name. Actually, let me start with where I'm gonna sail. I would sail to
the ocean blue.
Yeah, I feel like I would sail to like somewhere like a European coast or like Australia, just because I like to live life on the edge and their oceans are terrifying. So why not? I think I would name my pirate ship. I'd probably name it something like, I don't know, Blue Jay or like a bird of some sort. Maybe.
You don't like birds though.
But they got a cool name. Some of them got cool names. Blue Jay. Bluebird, I don't know, something like that maybe, or like
name's Bluebird.
Blue Jay.
Blue Jay's good, or like the Wilting Rose. That's a good ship name. I like it. That's it. The Wilting Rose. I don't ask how I just came up with that, but I got it.
Boom.
And then
definitely got to be black. Oh, like a really
with red sails.
Yeah.
Yeah, with dark red sails and a black ship. The Wilting Rose.
Hell yeah, brother!
Coining it. That's mine. Pirate name, I have no idea. Do you guys have any idea?
I think Captain Beth.
Yeah, right? Beth Botha.
Beth Bosa.
It just sounds like Barbosa with the lisp.
That's exactly what it is. Beth Botha. Isaiah, help me.
With?
Getting me out of this mess that I've created.
All right, well, let's get on to some facts, all right? So,
Ooh, I got a great segue. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
It's time to set our headings to Isaiah's segment.
Wow.
Thank you. I came up with it as I was saying it.
So you improvised it? That's what I heard. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Set your headings to Isaiah's fun facts.
Aha, set sail.
Set sail, bitches.
Get to the bow.
Squab the poop deck.
This is a mess. All right, I'm going to come in and save this.
Yeah.
Now, we have a few facts for you today. I don't have a lot. For some reason, there wasn't a lot about this movie.
Wow me. You have 5 minutes. Go.
Pressure.
Okay, so so while filming in London, because there's a section of this movie that takes place in like that London area, so it's in the city. While filming there, in October of 2010, Johnny Depp received a letter from a local 9-year-old schoolgirl telling him her classmates needed a mutiny against her teachers. So he turned up with almost no warning to the school in a full Captain Jack Sparrow outfit. But he advised them against mutiny and, told them to study, that kind of stuff.
Aww.
But yeah, no, he showed
that
up.
girl, I mean, she's not wrong. I like her. I like her way of thinking.
I like where her head's at.
Yeah, she definitely has her heading.
Very ironic that in this movie there's that they do have a mutiny.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, so during the filming, Johnny Depp bought new waterproof jackets for about 500 crew members on set to protect them from the cold weather. Because while filming, they were in very like cold environment. Because when they were filming in London, as you know, the British weather is not exactly kind.
Mm-hmm.
England's weather is usually very cold and
Rainy.
wet.
Wet,
Yes.
breezy.
Yes, wet.
Wet.
So he spent around 40,000 pounds of his own money, and that's
What is that in American currency?
for some reason.
Currently, that's probably about 80K, I want to say.
I was about to say $80.
This was in 2011 when the British pound was equivalent to like 1.6, like a dollar was 1.6 of a pound. So it is more expensive. I could not figure out the conversion rate for some reason. Like in every website I went to try to convert it was like, oh, we can't do specific numbers. You just have to do the math. I'm like, that's stupid. All right.
Google told me 46,778 in today's money. But
well, the British pound is worth only 1.1. It's only literally worth half of a dollar than it was in 2011. So that's a shame. So
unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate. But we're not a math, nor are we a economics podcast. So on to the facts. So producer Jerry Bruckheimer gave strict instructions to casting directors that actresses auditioning for the mermaid roles must have, and I quote, natural breasts. He explained, all right, it's not as weird as you think. He explained that I don't think they had breast augmentation in the 1700s, so they should. So it's natural for casting people to say we want real people.
Okay. I guess we'll let it slide.
So, and for the mermaids, any person that didn't have a non-speaking role that wasn't, they weren't. So the speaking roles of like the women who were singing or like next to the ship, they were actresses. But everyone who was doing, all the other mermaids who were doing non-speaking roles, they were actually Olympic synchronized swimmers.
Huh. I mean, that's smart.
It is. Especially when they're all just jumping around and doing synchronized things. So Johnny Depp's co-star Penelope Cruz was pregnant while filming most of this movie. So they did their best to cover her baby bump. So they actually, in fact,
how pregnant was she?
She gave birth. So it was like, I think
like on set.
No. She gave birth during the filming of the movies. So I think it was 6 months. So she was months so yeah, I think she was.
So she was 3 months in when they started.
Yeah,
roughly
about that. So
wait, who was it? Penelope Cruz.
Penelope Cruz, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they to do some of the fighting sequences, like
she gave birth.
Penelope Cruz did the fencing stuff. Like she trained to do fencing and did most of the fight scenes herself, except for after there was obviously some points they're like, yeah, we can't do that because we don't want to risk the baby. So they brought her sister in to play as a double, who also knows how to fence and is a professional dancer in Spain.
Wow!
Oh wow, how convenient!
Very convenient.
So this movie was the first in the series to utilize full 3D. So they filmed the whole movie in 3D. In order to make it, though, they created a brand new Fusion 3D camera system, which they called X-Frame, because to film in 3D, the cameras needed are very bulky and stuff like that. So they basically just built an entirely new camera, 3D camera version. So for the X-Frame, what they did is they reduced the size of the equipment by like 30 to 40% in order to move the cameras from like studio rigs to handhelds to Steadicams, because they're also like in the jungle, like they're filming in Hawaii. So they're filming like the Hawaiian jungle and stuff like that. So in order to be able to bring 3D equipment like that, I believe one of the producers said it was akin to, if you were to do it with the regular equipment, it would have been akin to like a military operation in order to bring that amount of equipment into the jungle. For our final fact today, On Stranger Tides holds the record as the most expensive movie ever made in history, with a budget of $379 to $410 million.
Really?
Yes.
That's impressive.
It is impressive. It literally outdid the Avengers in terms of budget.
That's crazy. I had to Google it because I really didn't believe you.
What?
Yeah,
that it's the number one.
Oh, yeah.
Most
I couldn't believe it either,
film.
and I had to Google it too. But nope.
Yeah, right above. And wow, and then 5 is At World's End, number 5 for most expensive. Right. And then in between, obviously, is all the Avengers. And then Justice League. Oh, my God.
I think the Justice it's not, and that's not the Zack Snyder one. That's literally the original one. And I'm pretty sure it's because of all the reshoots, because they basically combined two movies, because there was the original movie and then what do you call it? Joss Whedon came in and built an entire new movie with the amount of reshoots.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the budget of like two different movies. So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. That's just crazy to me. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
And that concludes all my facts for today.
Thank you for your facts, Isaiah.
Thank you. Now off to Tortuga.
Now off to Tortuga, where we are going to roast the shit out of this movie.
Are we?
Yeah.
Are we?
Okay.
Yeah.
Bombs away.
Actually, I would like to hear Beth's thoughts first.
Hands away.
Oh. Well, I mean, I'm also kind of, I wouldn't say I'm going to shit talk it, but it was honestly just, That's pretty much all I can that's the word I can use to sum this up. It's just, you know? I mean, I liked the incorporation of Blackbeard, obviously. I feel like, you know, that's when I think of, you know, obviously before Pirates of the Caribbean came out, before Jack Sparrow even existed, Blackbeard was the pirate. When you think of the word pirate, you think of Blackbeard. So to finally have him in the films, it was kind of like it's about damn time. I don't know the actor that played him. I don't know his name.
Isaac McShane, something like that. Ian McShane, sorry.
I think he did well. I feel like his character, like the look of Blackbeard, wasn't quite what I would imagine, but it wasn't bad. It was just not quite what I would envision for a Blackbeard character.
His opening was pretty accurate, because he had the beard, the fire things on his beard and stuff like that. That's the most accurate version of him.
Yeah, that's originally, like, it's not even just legend. I think it's a confirmed history of Blackbeard's like life. He used to tie, like, the fuck was it? It was some kind of like wood or something into his beard and like tie it in like little rows, and he would burn the ends to give him this like fucking terrifying devil appearance when he would attack ships. Yeah,
Blackbeard. Real life Blackbeard was insane. Like at one point though, he actually literally was going insane because he had syphilis. So to counteract that, he shot actual mercury into his penis.
Oh,
yeah. So that used to be the treatment for syphilis before we discovered
it was not
the antibiotic.
What the fuck?
No. So that's actually, like, if you go back in history, that's actually like a common thing that was used by doctors to try and treat syphilis. And what it would do is
women healthcare.
Women healthcare.
Back in that.
No. To jump on that syphilis thing. So before we did the horrible Tuskegee experiment, most of doctors around the world would use mercury or arsenic to treat syphilis. And what it would do in most cases, this actually, I read about this earlier with another famous person who suffered from it and eventually died from the neurosyphilis, which is the third stage of syphilis. Robert Schumann, the German composer, he died in 1856, and the neurosyphilis like drove him absolutely fucking bonkers. And Johannes Brahms was a close friend of his. But anyway, mercury and arsenic used to be used as a treatment for syphilis. I think what it actually only did was it treated the sores, right? So like it seemed like you had been cured, but in reality, the disease remained in your body and then proceeded to go into its tertiary stage, which is neurosyphilis, when it starts to fucking make your brain into Swiss cheese. And of course, at the time, most people's lifespan wasn't very long. You know, like most people lived into like their 30s or 40s, 50s if they were really lucky. And so a lot of them died early on, and they attributed it to, you know, other things, not, he got mercury poisoning from putting it in his penis. Since we've derailed your review so far.
I mean, I was enjoying listening to mercury and penises, but as much as I love to listen about that, anyways, I did like the concept, you know, of the whole Fountain of Youth storyline and everything, and because it's an actual. I mean, yes, they throughout the whole series they've kind of, for the most part, stuck with actual pirate history and mythology and all these different things. So like the Fountain of Youth and Ponce De Leon and everything. I liked how that was incorporated, but I still think that they should have just ended it in the last movie. I just feel like there was no need to introduce all these new characters and have this whole, it felt like we stopped and then we started back up again.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like it just didn't need to be done. As much as I like to see Jack Sparrow on the screen, you know, I just feel like it was a waste of time. Especially for like a 2.5 hour film. I have mixed feelings on the mermaids. I really do. I like the idea of mermaids. I think they're neat, but I did not like their role in the film at all. I just feel like, especially the whole like love thing going on between her and fuck, what was his name?
I don't even remember his name. That's how forgettable of a character.
The preachy boy,
The missionary.
Philip Swift.
Yes, Philip. I just feel like it just felt weird, and I don't know. The whole thing is just odd. And I might get a lot of hate for this, but I actually don't like Angelica. She's an interesting character, but I feel like she just feels like she was just made for the sake of this film. So overall, she's Loved Barbosa. I mean, I will always love him. I'm sorry. He's my favorite.
It did feel like in this movie they didn't let him go as crazy as he wanted to.
No, they didn't. Like in the beginning, when they first revealed him, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, no, this is wrong. When he's all like dressed up and everything. But I mean, like, I get why he was doing it, but it just it was weird to see, you know, him all like, what would you call it? Like a colonial get up.
Victorian.
Mm-hmm.
Victorian. Yeah, that's a better word. So overall, I give it a same rating as the last one, 2.5. Maybe even a 2.
Maybe even a 2. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough.
I just wasn't feeling it.
So to jump on some of what you said. So far, I know we already talked about Blackbeard. I actually think this was a pretty solid portrayal to the legends and the myths we have about Blackbeard.
Yeah, I feel like you know a lot more about like the actual legend of these characters than I do. I don't know about Isaiah.
I think my first like foray into the history of Blackbeard probably came from when he's first brought out in Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Hell yeah, brother.
Which is actually they stick to the same scene. They show him coming out of the boat of the Queen Anne's Revenge with his beard burning and scaring the shit out of all these pirates that they were trying to board their ship. And they're like, oh my fucking God, the devil. But I also remember reading up like on Blackbeard himself separately. And that was actually something that stood out in his history was like people feared him as the actual incarnation of the devil when he would do that.
See, and like that's something I didn't know. And now I want to watch a video about the life of Blackbeard because he sounds fucking awesome.
There is a Netflix documentary that goes to history of pirates.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's kind of low budget, but it still gives you a good like inclination about like what the hell they were doing back in the day. And there's also not a lot of there's not a lot of like historical documentation on pirates and stuff like that. So it's a lot of just based on legends and letters and stuff and stories that people kind of told each other.
Okay.
The one thing I couldn't personally find anything about was him having like necromancer and ship control powers. I was like, okay,
yeah, that's something
that's a Disney movie.
That's something I also wanted to ask.
I feel like that was a purely Jerry Bruckheimer thing to do.
Well, because I was going to ask if that was like a thing that, like, you know, like a myth or a legend that went along with Blackbeard, because they're like, oh, you know, he's the devil, he can control his ship or whatever. And I was going to ask Lewis if that was a thing, but now that he says that, I'm like, oh, okay, so it's just stupid. Got it.
I actually tried to look it up after I saw it in the movie. I was like, yo, was this a thing? What the fuck? Was this like some story that was told one time?
It felt very like it only was there to serve the plot. Yep.
Which was because later it explains why Barbosa lost a leg. It was Blackbeard's magic. There is some reference for like him having this like mystical background, not having necromancer powers per se, or like control the ship like that. For his time, and especially amongst pirates, the legend goes that that Blackbeard was actually pretty smart in terms of like understanding chemicals, the mind games he played with the fire in his beard, that sort of thing. And
Are you telling me he was a girl boss?
no,
gaslight, gatekeep, manipulate.
God bless. My understanding is that he understood how to use like certain like like phosphorus and all these other chemicals that were like dangerous to use at the time. He knew how to kind of craft like weapons and smoke
Breaking
screens and all these,
Blackbeard.
yeah, basically. Or like someone on the crew at least, was able to do that with him, and they made their weapons more dangerous. They made smoke screens that were stronger. They had obviously like we've already mentioned multiple times, the beard thing. There is a slight, and I say this very loosely, there is a slight reference to Ferdinand Magellan with Barbossa's character when he had the poison on his sword.
Mm-hmm.
So on one hand, it's a reference to Magellan, the actual story of Ferdinand Magellan. He was struck with a poisoned arrow by the natives on the Philippines before he died. And I think it's, these are both loose references to both these things. When Barbossa's like, I'm going to have, my super extreme poison sword to kill Blackbeard with, or anyone that comes in contact with me, really, because, wow. That was very ingenious on their part. I like that. The mermaids.
The mermaids.
I also was a little mixed feeling about that. So what I wasn't like, I knew the legend they were trying to go with, right? The thing of drowning sailors and eating them and all these other things. I wasn't expecting which way they were going to go with it. Were they going to show like very beautiful women who suddenly have like Melina unhinged jaws, like in Mortal Kombat, which would have been cool in my opinion.
Oh yes.
But instead they went with vampire teeth, and I was like, I'm not feeling it, bud.
Yeah, they weren't as terrifying as I expected them to be.
With the teeth option, it wasn't as terrifying. Their eyes also didn't change or anything like that. But then they had like those crazy like kelp whips. That was kind of cool.
That was
whips. Yeah.
That was pretty dope. Now to feed from Serena, the mermaid, and Philip, you could have removed him from the entire movie, and it would not have like changed much at all. I really didn't see the point to having him or his love interest with Serena throughout the entire thing. There could have been another way to make Serena like be upset about someone being hurt or cry or whatever. Like maybe they would have killed one of her sisters or something like that, and she would have like, The movie in the beginning, after the Spaniards or whatever, which I'm going to get to that in a second. That's what I was. Now, there is one badass scene that they did do with the mermaids when they took down the entire Englishman ship. That was dope. That whole love interest thing, the lack of really like depth to Philip's character, aside from trying to be like, Blackbeard, I'm going to save your damn soul.
Yeah. I mean, I all I could see when I saw that actor too is just Finnick from Hunger Games. And I was like, oh, I don't like you.
Yeah, that's fair. Right. Cool thing that they added, I didn't expect, was I don't know that Blackbeard actually had a giant flamethrower like he did on the ship.
I mean, that was cool though.
That was cool. I want to say for the good portion of the movie, I was actually like sort of enjoying it. And then the last 30 minutes, I was like, this movie's okay. I'm going to give it like like as a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, I'd give it like a 3 or a 3.5. As an actual film, I'd give it like a 2.5. When I saw those last 30 minutes, dropped straight to like a 1.5, maybe a 2.
Wow.
That just really pissed me off. Like, I was just like, wow, this really just put me off from the entire fucking film. And also, I feel like with the inclusion of the Spaniards, they really kind of like took the fight out of Barbossa and Blackbeard's fight. And I was upset about that because it was actually cool at first. I also thought it was so funny when Barbossa took his leg off and was like, he's like, oh, you have a knife. He's like, no, better. And drank some fucking whiskey.
And then the rum. Oh, is it whiskey?
Rum.
I thought it was rum.
No, it's probably rum. But I just assumed it was whiskey. You had me in the first half.
And then you lost me in the second.
And then you lost me at the very end.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it an overall rating of 2.
Wow.
I was, you had me going. And like, I remember the commercials leading up to the movie, and like, it made it seem like it was going to be way cooler. Like the Spaniards had like a way bigger role, especially since they were the fucking opening scene. and it really let me down.
What about you, Isaiah?
Yeah, I gave this movie a 3 out of 5. It's straight mid, no cap.
Yeah.
It is for this movie being like the most expensive movie ever made, I expected more. But also I can't say I'm surprised.
Yes.
So we're just gonna go through what I wrote down as I went to the movie. But the Judi Dench cameo was funny. I thought that was hilarious.
Yes. I saw that and I was like, wait a minute.
that's Judi Dench. This thought I should put in there. Now this movie has a lot more physical comedy. Like what they do is not just like the jokes. Because Jack is very witty. He's like more witty this time. So he's got a lot more comebacks and more like wit to him. But there's also a lot more physical comedy of like when he's talking to someone, he's just pouring water out of his boot, or someone pulls a wine, or when he pulls a wine bottle out of a cannon. Just like little stuff that like was funny.
Because I agree. I think those little moments you're like, oh, because it's like it's very in character for him. They were just like nice little touches.
Yeah. So also the Queen Anne's Revenge is a sick ship. Like holy crap, that thing is real cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now the mermaid love story is probably the weakest plot line of the whole movie. The whole relationship between them is really forced. It doesn't matter at all. A lot of it could have been cut and probably would have been fine. So then Blackbeard comes out like really, really intimidating, right? He's got the beard, it's on fire. He's got his sword and he's rounding up the crew and all that stuff. He lights a dude on fire with the flamethrowers and stuff like that. And then it kind of feels that he just doesn't do anything after that. He's just there. Like he's Blackbeard, the notorious pirate. Like, everybody fears him. And then he kind of just, after that like insane opening, the rest of the movie is just him kind of walking around in the forest with everybody else and him just doing like intimidating things, sort of.
It's kind of like they're like, oh, we should add Blackbeard because he's this iconic pirate. And they're like, wait, what do we do with him now?
Yeah. So it felt very underwhelming for him because he didn't get to do much. So I thought,
and I was actually hoping to see him fight Jack instead of Barbossa.
Yeah, I expected more from him.
Mm-hmm.
So I expected more from Blackbeard. And then the also the unneeded Spanish plot. Like, yeah, I thought they were going to play more of a role, but then it turned into a race between the three, but they forgot about the Spanish and they threw him back in at the end.
And all they did was destroy the Fountain of Youth because they were like, you can't believe in magic, bro.
It was very, they were a MacGuffin, obviously. Not a MacGuffin, or like they were an ex machina for the ending. So they could have gotten rid of the entire Spanish plot, and it could have still just been a race between Blackbeard and Barbossa, and it would have been fine. There was a lot of unnecessary fat that they could have trimmed from this movie. So it's a 3 out of 5 because it was still a fun movie. I still thought it was fun. It was a good pirate adventure, but it still was very lackluster compared to the others, and it's just could have been better. But yeah, I gave it a 3 out of 5. That's all I got to say.
All right.
Okay, I feel like we all have a relatively similar,
and then it just pissed me off in the end.
Feeling on this. Yeah, I also had that written down in my notes that it was straight mid, but Isaiah said it before I could. I guess that's it. Yeah. All right. Bye, guys. No, I'm just kidding. I got to do my little outro here. Well, thank you guys for listening. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify at Silver Screen Sips. And don't forget Twitter at Silver Screen Sip with no S. Please email us your movie suggestions at silverscreensips@gmail.com for our listeners episode, which is on October 3rd. So just a few weeks away. And we will see you guys in next episode, which is also the last of this season and the last of the series.
Yeah, brother.
Just Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Dead Men Tell No Tales.
I don't know what the fuck that was, but okay. Bye.